Hey guys, Waterfowler41 here, and in today's video it's a little bit more of a talk through of a product I just recently did, more so than actually doing the project. But if you follow my channel and you look a few videos back, I installed a 20-inch light bar down in my lower grill there. Now, one of the things I did mention about that light bar is it's got two circuits in it. One, the main power, so the main bright lights that, the ones that light up everything in front of you. But it also has a daytime running light circuit, and basically what that means is it's got a couple little tiny LEDs in there, just enough to illuminate the inside of the housing and give it kind of a cool little daytime running light effect. It's not enough to really shine any usable light out. It's just there kind of backlighting, kind of mood lighting, but within the light bar. So what I want to walk you guys through is how I set up a daytime running light circuit in my truck using a relay to power that backlighting. So basically what I wanted to do is when my truck turned on and when these side marker lights are on, I wanted the backlighting within the light bar to turn on as well. So walk you through how I did it. This would be helpful if you're installing any sort of grill lights like the Raptor style lights. This is the way to do it. I hate when I see lights like that tapped in and stealing power directly from a circuit inside the truck. What you run a risk of overloading that circuit and basically either the BCM locking you out and basically seeing the power that it's providing is an overloaded circuit and it's just going to shut itself down. But that's not really how you should be adding additional circuits. So the best way to do it is adding a relay. So let's take a look at the relay and I can kind of walk you through the wires and where I pulled everything from. So the relay has 4 wires going into it. So the first 2 are the typical ones. So you got 12-volt power coming right off the battery, and then you got a ground. So if you follow these, I run them through the fender inside wire loom, up into that channel, up over the top of the engine, and they drop down right over here. So you can see the red wire here and the black ground here. The red wire is fed into, it's kind of sharing an output of my distribution block with a 30 amp fuse in there. So it's also using the same power as my trigger. So I always have a fuse power going into relays. You shouldn't be running direct power. Then I have my ground here. So again, I have it grounded right off the battery terminal. So going back over here, we got the 12-volt power. We got battery ground. Then we have this wire right here. So this green wire is what travels down and turns on the backlighting inside the light bar. And then the magic wire. So this little trigger here, this black wire, is tapped into my circuit here with a posi tap. So I grab the wire that is white with an orange stripe, which coincides with this light right here. And what that allows me to do is not steal power from there, but you just need a little bit of a signal coming out of that wire to trigger the relay. I use that just to provide enough signal in here to close the bridge and to tie the 12-volt power from the battery into the output side that goes down in the light bar. I'm not using any of the voltage off of that circuit for anything other than triggering this, and such a low amount is needed. You run a very, very, very low risk of ever overloading that circuit in the BCM. So again, I tapped into the white with the orange stripe, and that gives me my signal to close the bridge inside the relay, and that bridge will basically connect the 12-volt battery to the output side of the relay, which goes down to my light bar. Okay, so I'm gonna take my headlight button here and I'm gonna turn it on so just the marker lights come on. So when those come on, you see here, orange, those are illuminated. And like I said, I tapped into that circuit to just grab the signal to tell my relay when to close. So my relay right now should be closed and allowing the 12-volt from the battery to connect with the output side, the source power for my light bar. And if you back up, boom, there it is. Now, this is not the full output of the light bar. I'm not going to drive down the road with a light bar at full blast. That's ignorant. That's reckless for oncoming traffic. This is just backlighting, and this is basically no brighter than a cell phone screen. Serves no function purpose other than it looks cool, and I like it. I think it matches well with the lines on the headlights, so you got kind of an ambiance down here. Now, again, this is just backlighting. This isn't the full output of the light bar. Now, if I wanted the full if I wanted the full output on the light bar, I installed those switches inside my cab. I just got to hit that, and then it turns on. So, again, using a relay to tell that light bar when to turn on. In short, you got a power coming off the battery. You got a ground also tied into the battery. You have your output, so this goes into the light bar telling when that backlight turns on. And then you have the most important part of a relay, which is a trigger. And that trigger is what's tied into the circuit behind my headlight. So I pulled out the headlight harness and it's tapped into the white with orange stripe wire, and I use posi-taps. So I'll leave a link to posi-taps down below. But if I'm ever trying to tap into an existing circuit and get a signal out of there, posi-taps are the way to go. It's a very clean way to do it, waterproof, and it's a super durable way of doing it. I'm not a fan of the blue T-taps that you got to crimp and pinch on there. I think that's kind of a hokey way. Plus, the posi-taps you don't need that much room to connect them. So tapped into there, grab that signal. That signal is enough to trigger my relay. I'm not stealing much power out of that circuit, so I'm not going to lock out my BCM. Now I have this relay that I can now send the output to that light bar. So if you remember in the previous videos, I said that my A-pillar light's also from OZ. The center here is a daytime running light, and I don't have it hooked up right now, but I could very easily take the power output, so that green wire, and then splice it and tap into, I believe I left it over here. Yep, that green wire here. That green wire is the small little DRL circuits in here. So again, that is how you add a DRL circuit to your truck safely without stealing power and risking overloading your BCM. So what this will work for, if you think about other lights that you're adding on there, a lot of the guys who do the Raptor lights, this is the way to safely add it. If you're tapping into a circuit and stealing full power to power those LEDs, you have a increased risk of overloading your BCM. And like I said, you don't want to do that. It's an expensive fix. Dealership has to get involved, and I guess the best outcome of that is that your truck went into a safe mode and not actually frying the BCM because you overloaded. So that's how I added the relay, and it tucks in nicely here. Put the shroud over on top, waterproof. I got no issues with water getting on there, and we're good to go. So that is how I added my DRL circuit for the backlighting in my light bar. Short video, all talk. Appreciate it, guys. Thanks for watching.